6:30 p.m. Eastern. Shelby's World Live taking off. Questions will be answered cause the queen get it off. Unity is for the black and brown community. Conversation without scrutiny. Hey, we speak from a place of power, no coward. We just making sure the truth isn't overpowered. Black goddess, black queen, no in between. Radio podcast to the big screen. Her smile is everything, can light up a room. She say what she means, that's why we're in tune. Grown woman handles her biz like it is. Discipline, her role model for the kids. Nothing was given, everything she earned. She sat back and learned, and now it's her turn. So stop on by, comment, subscribe. Each and every Wednesday, SW Live.
Shelby's World Podcast. Shelby's World.
What's up? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. We are halfway through the month of June, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of SW Live. I'm so happy that we are midway through the week. That's why I love doing my shows on Wednesday, because it gives me that extra oomph, because we midway through the week. It feels great. Whew. Exhale, y'all. All right. Welcome. I am so excited to be back here with y'all. You know, I love to come to my podcast family and have some conversation, some dialogue about things that are going on, but more importantly, because these are things that do affect our lives. And, you know, I just like to put it out there and have some discussion about it, and I love y'all input. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the quote of the day. Let's do that. Hold on, we got some comments. Hi, I'm happy I finally... Hey, girl, how you doing? What's happening, Miss Steele? One time for what's going on? Say so. But yeah, we're gonna jump into the quote real quick. I want to go ahead and get through that. Also, y'all got a new feature. I got a brand new feature on my page that I love. Is that if you look at the screen, you'll see our comments on screen. I like that. It's cool. All right. Quote of the day: if you change partners every time it gets tough, or you get a little dissatisfied, then I don't think you get the richness that's available in long-term relationships. And that's author unknown, but it's a very good quote. It's more like a statement than a quote, and it gets directly to the point. And it's true. If you change partners every time something goes bad, or something doesn't go your way, or something don't go how you think it should, or something don't go how something is going for somebody else, you kind of like, you throw away the honor and the contentment of actually getting to know that person deeper, in a deeper way, in a deeper element, in a more rich fashion, and you lose the richness that's available in a long-term relationship. What's the whole point of doing it if you don't see it, you know, compelling to be something deeper than what it is? So, you know, we want to remember that before we even choose the relationships that we're getting into, because then, you know, if you're just doing something, it's not going to work. So when you walk away, it's like, dang, time was wasted. You could have been doing this and building with someone that you really want to build with. So think about that statement before you get into a new relationship anyway. Because you got to remember, changing partners takes away a whole lot of the memory. You got to create a whole lot of different things. Now you done did all this and did all that and did all this. Now you got to try again. That's why people don't like getting into relationships, because it starts to become a chore. It will start to become a chore. So instead of doing that, where you got to keep starting over, you could just go ahead and try to work things out, build with someone that you already have those connections with. So if you're already doing it, why not try to do anything in your power to make it work? Why not? Why not? It's just a question. Why not? Um, Now, if it's if it's things going wrong in that relationship, and there you can see the ending before you see the beginning, or you can see the ending and you already know it's not going beyond what you see, then yeah, I understand. But that's why I said think about that statement before you get into another relationship, so like, dang, I gotta start over again. I gotta do this again. So yeah. So, yeah, so our quote of the day: if you change partners every time it gets tough or you get a little dissatisfied, then I don't think you get the richness that's available in long-term relationships. So it's just something to think about. You don't want to invest a whole lot of time if you don't see it going anywhere. If it's not going to be a partnership or something that you're trying to build and, work and make richer, then that's not something you should be investing your time in. Truth is that relationships of any kind must constantly be worked on. You shouldn't be partnered up with anyone that thinks it's a one sided situation or that their needs are more important. Those long term relationships and marriages are the most rewarding yet challenging journeys in any walk of life, anyone's walk of life. Most end these situations before they understand how to deal with the conflict that comes with it, the disappointment, and hard lessons also. For the ones who hold on, once they get through those growing pains, life is at its peak. Accepting those hard truths is beneficial. Okay? So we're going to talk about the hard truths of the partnerships today. We're going to talk about the hard truths of the long-term relationships. We're going to talk about the hard truths that come with and I have a top five. I wrote down like a lot of them, and then I narrowed my list down and was like, these are some of the most important ones that you hear people talking about a lot. You hear people discussing. So we're gonna talk about the five hard lessons, the five things that make it difficult in relationships that make people want to throw in the towel, and they do because we're human, we're beings, we're not perfect people. So there are going to be times and times and times that are going to show you yourself that sometimes you may be the problem. Like you may feel like you're not able to push forth or handle the situation just because you're not good enough with being you at the moment. This ain't. I don't want to. I don't want to try. I've had enough. You're gonna be selfish in the situation, knowing that it takes a lot more work than just saying we beautiful together. It take work. It really do. It take a lot of work. It don't. It's not just an overnight success. You have to really work and build toward having a great partnership. All right. So the first one out of the top five that I have, we're gonna start. It's listed on here as number one, but it's counting down. Love alone isn't enough to hold a marriage or a long term relationship together. Love alone ain't enough. So if you get mistreated, love alone ain't enough. If you are being taken for granted, love alone ain't enough. If you're not growing in your relationship because of different things that are happening in the relationship that's hindering you, love alone ain't enough. If y'all broke and crawling around on y'all knees, love alone ain't enough. It's just a lot of things that let you know that that relationships take more than love, and that's what they're saying. Many couples believe that as long as they love each other, everything else will fall into place. But love doesn't automatically solve differences in communication styles, personal values, or long term goals. What truly sustains a commitment, I'm sorry, what truly sustains a partnership is commitment, effort, and the willingness to adapt. Love can help keep the spark going. How you show up for each other and how you grow together will determine how strong that partnership is. That's just real. Your level of commitment is going to show how much you're willing to take, what you are willing to go through for your relationship, especially if it's not like, if you're not going through anything that's a physical harm to yourself, why just say, oh, we're gonna be okay because we love each other. No, go ahead and really build on that. Really build on that. Like jump into it knowing that you are willing to actually grow as a couple. You're not willing to fall down. You're not willing to keep on like, oh my God, after 3 months and we done did all this and now it's a problem. I'm out. Like I said, a lot of times when people say it's a problem, you're the problem yourself. Maybe you're not used to being treated a certain type of way. Maybe you're not used to being loved a certain type of way. But it's things you have to acknowledge. So yes, love alone isn't enough. However, if you have effort and the willingness to keep growing in that commitment, you can push through anything. Because most of the time nothing is that grave for you to even be having a struggle effect with the thing. You may just not be used to your relationship. I think a lot of that is what it is for a lot of us. You're not used to either that type of relationship or you're not used to having a partner who does you well or does you different. A lot of us aren't used to those things. So when we walk in, we just be like disgruntled. Let me find a reason to end this. No. If you got these things and you're looking to go to build deeper, you can actually have more of that. You can definitely have a really strong partnership. Two, you're going to fight a lot. You're going to argue. You're going to have disputes. You're going to have disagreements. Um, I don't really like doing that though. People like nobody don't want to be arguing and screaming to the top of their lungs and doing all that silly stuff. Nobody really wants to do that. So converse. One of the biggest misconceptions about marriage and long-term relationships is that truly compatible people don't argue. That's one of the biggest lies, but people say that all the time. People really believe that. They have put that in their head. If I'm really compatible with him, if I'm really compatible with her, then we ain't gonna be arguing like that. But not only is conflict inevitable, it's also essential. In fact, the absence of conflict likely means that important issues are being swept under the rug. When conflict does not show its ugly face, a lot of times in return, things are being swept under the carpet. All right? And it's not the fighting that damages relationships, it's how couples choose to handle their disagreements. Healthy conflict can bring partners closer by opening the door to deep, meaningful conversations about wants and needs, which can lead to problem solving. And my advice is to learn how to fight fairly. No blame games, no stonewalling. We talked about this last year. No, I meant last week. No blame games, no stonewalling, no personal attacks. When you create a safe space for your partner creates a safe space for you. When you create an honest environment, your partner creates an honest environment for you. It's a hand in hand thing when you're talking about fixing the negatives in your relationship. But it doesn't automatically mean that you're gonna never have a argument. It doesn't mean that you're never gonna have a dispute because that is not the most unhealthiest thing in the world. Like the comment just said, it's how you deal with it. If you deal with it in a negative manner, like trying to run up on somebody or being loud and disgruntled, then you may not know how to handle your conflict. And that could be an issue, not knowing how to handle it, because it's such a turnoff when a person is so arrogantly ignoring their partner's request. And now y'all done turned the conversation to an argument because y'all don't know how to communicate. Not feeling the feelings deeply involved, and it got to some type of conflict. So we got to learn how to converse. We have to learn how to read each other's feelings and stuff, because you can see when your partner not accepting what you're saying by some of their facial expressions, their body language. All those things are typical ways of people responding. So if you can see that some of the things that you're saying, whether it's true to you or not, how you come off and how you say it is going to be the way that you solve your conflict. Your partner won't and can't meet all your needs. This is a very hard truth for a lot of people. This person is human. Remember that. This person is human just like you are. So you can't expect that person to just be the no start to all, the end to all of all of your happiness or all of your desires, whatever. Your happiness starts with you, number one. But number two, you can't expect them to sit up and just read your mind to figure things out that way. You have to talk to your partner. And you have to drop that expectation of when you tell them what's bothering you that they could just fix everything, that they're there for all your needs. It don't work like that now. Come on. We all human. We still human. Many people after a marriage or long-term relationship thinking that their spouse will be their everything, their best friend, emotional support system, cheerleader, and problem solver. While it's natural to lean on each other for support, expecting one person to fulfill your every need is one of the most unrealistic and selfish things ever. Healthy spouses recognize the importance of individuality. That means maintaining individual interests, friendships, and goals. And I hate, I hate when I see people in relationships where every friend is each other's friend. Like, what happened? Did everybody either just pass away that you knew, or you kicked them to the curb just because your man supposed to be to fulfill all your friendship needs, or your woman supposed to fulfill all your friendship needs? No. What? So you don't have a life anymore because you have a partner? Nurturing a strong sense of self outside of the marriage helps prevent resentment and keeps the relationship from feeling suffocated. Always remember that a thriving relationship is built on two whole, complementary individuals, not two halves trying to complete each other. Have your own people. Have your partner, but definitely have your own people. Have your own people. I think that's as simple as I can put that one. Just have your own people. Without constant maintenance, your marriage or partnership will crumble. That is almost self-explanatory too. Many couples underestimate how much work it takes to have a healthy relationship. The honeymoon phase may feel effortless, but over time, life's responsibilities, work, kids, finances, health often puts the relationship lower on the priority list. You need to have regular check-ins and plan quality time together, just as you wouldn't expect with a car to run. Just like you wouldn't expect a car to run forever without maintenance, you cannot expect your relationship to thrive without consistent care. And you'll hear a lot of people say, "Me and my people, we good, we straight, we always doing this." Well, they don't be doing nothing. But a lot of people comfortable with doing nothing. You still have to build in, and they might be building in other ways. They may not just don't have to be out and about. They may not feel like they have to date each other, but constantly dating each other and falling in love with your partner over and over again is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to continue to see the good in the person that you love. You want to continue to see the growth in there. You want to continue to celebrate them for the things that you're supposed to celebrate them for. It's something very, very honest and innocent about loving the person that you chose to love. And maintaining your relationship and building and throwing into it and pouring into it, that's one of the greatest things ever, because now you're being able to build into it and feed into it. And then you're also being able to have your partner do the same thing. Y'all both are giving each other that love, support, and maintenance. that's keeping your relationship going. You're both doing it. You don't want to ever feel just like the other statement said, where it says your partner won't and can't meet all your needs, and in the end it said not two halves trying to compete each other. Y'all both came in whole. When you come in 50% and they at 100%, you about to drain them. You about to drain them of everything that's inside of them. You about to drain the loving shit out of that person. You cannot be at 50% and they at 100%. It's just not fair. That means that you have a lot on your plate and you want to relinquish some of it to your partner. That's not fair. But it happens. And that's why you find a lot of relationships starting to where their course is quite fast. There's no need for that. If you're not at 100%, you're probably not ready for a full-time partnership, for a full-term relationship. Long-term, short-term, no term. You need to focus on healing and getting you ready, because even at a 50%, thinking that, okay, if I'm 50%, all they gotta do is be 50%. Who gonna have the battery power? If both of y'all at 50%, it's still who got the energy, who got the power source. We gotta be respectfully there to understand that a person needs their energy. They need that battery power. And you're not there to take it. But that's exactly what's going to happen if you do not maintain your partnership. Because one person is going to be trying to pull and pull and fix and love and love and love and love and love and love and love. And the other person just taking it and taking it and taking it, and they ain't pouring enough back in. It's just emptying. They fill it up, but that person is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Because we're not understanding that energy and that power comes from within. So you can't be going around snatching other people's shit and then you draining them, and then your relationship just on thin ice, just out here willy-nilly dead, hanging on the ledge. You got to put in just as much. That maintenance is going to be the savior of your relationship, the maintenance of it. How you maintain it, how you love on it, how you pour into it, how you feed it, how you do anything that's going to make that relationship more sensible and understanding for you and your partner. It will maintain. It's going to flourish. It's going to grow. It's not going to have any problem with doing any of that. Any of that. Because it's going to be flourishing. But don't be looking across the fence thinking, damn, they grass green. Before y'all moved into y'all house next door to them, they probably had brown grass. They probably had patches, a lot of weeds. They had to start the garden over. They had to call the True Lawn people to come out there and make that thing look like a golf course. They started putting in that work. It don't just happen. It has to get work put into it. All right? Just beating at a dead horse ain't worth a damn. Whew. Yeah. You are both going to change individually. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn in relationships, because I've heard so many people say, you ain't the same. I've heard so many people say, especially about this, directly about their partner. You changing up on me. You switching up on me. You ain't the same person I met. You ain't the person I fell in love with. Because once I started growing, you put up a blockade. You didn't want to see me grow. So what you did was put up a blockade so you can the blinders, put on the horse blinders. So you ain't have so you only can see and experience what you want to see and experience. You don't want to see the truth. But I've been growing, I've been changing. Every time something different happened that made me understand something different, I'm going to change. I'm going to grow. And you, of all people, being my partner, should want to see, feel, and interact with that growth. You can't expect the person you settle down with at 25 to be the same exact person at 45. You can't even expect them to be the same after being with them just 3 years. People evolve, priorities shift, and life circumstances change. By embracing change instead of resisting it, you'll come to realize the beauty and privilege in being able to witness this evolution. The most successful couples are the ones who adapt and grow together. While partners drift apart, they find new reasons to keep loving each other. This means being open to new experiences and giving one another the space to evolve without feeling threatened by it. You should never feel threatened by your partner's growth. You should never feel threatened by anything that your partner is doing that is going to make y'all lives better and greater, because their change isn't always just for you, for them. Their change is for everyone. Evolution is a beautiful thing. They're not dissolving, they evolving. So the constant push to be better and to be better at me, when I'm trying to grow me and push for me, oh, you loving on me gonna make me love on you better. Support that person. Support them. They're gonna change. You're gonna change. I had a client that whole wardrobe changed within the the 3 years they were married. They were only married 3 years so far. They still married, and I'm saying like not they were as in it's over. No, it's still they still married. But the partner had got into country music and started learning like a lot of country dances, country songs, playing a lot of country stuff, you know. And the partner was like, "It's pissing me off because that's all I hear all the time in the house is all this damn country music. I don't want to hear that." I was like, "Have you even given it a chance? Like, or are you just looking to find something wrong with it immediately just because you know that you don't like country music? So just because you don't like it, you don't want your partner to even play it in the house? Yes, he could just play it in the car when he's driving. Why? Because I don't like it, but it's not. Their choices are not just for you to like." And she was like, "Well, it's bothering me." So fast forward or whatever to like another year later, and she said his wardrobe started to start changing into like the country gear, and I felt that in my soul that that was gonna happen next. I just, that's not my business to say what I feel, but I felt it in my soul. I was like, yeah, if he going hard on the country music, he probably about to start dressing like that too, where he in boots and cowboy hats regularly. And she said that's all he wears. So I'm sitting there like thinking to I'm giggling inside. And I said, so I guess you telling me that's bothering you too? She said, I got with the country music when he started, when he changed up his wardrobe because the wardrobe looked good. She found a level of satisfaction in the dissatisfaction. We got to compromise when it comes to our people. We got to be willing to take a risk on them that they're taking on us, because within a lot of within 5 years there's going to be a little change. Within 10 years there's going to be a lot of change. Within 15 years it may be a maximum amount of change in the person that you have chosen to be your partner. All evolution for them, their benefit, and for the family benefit. So if that is a constant and you're feeling good and you happy about what's happening with y'all changes and y'all evolving and learning how to master how you argue and fight with each other by finding the silver lining, um, realizing that love alone is not going to be the knowing all, the end all of every relationship. Um, Knowing that your partner won't and can't meet all your needs, when you become accepting of that, when you become accepting of the fact that knowing that maintenance is going to help sustain your relationship. You won't be worrying about peeking into other pastures. You won't be worried about asking people questions about their relationship, because how you do your relationship is all you're going to care about. You don't even want advice on how another person dealing with what you going, how they dealt with what you trying to deal with. You wouldn't even want it, because you know your person. You've learned that. That's all I'm saying. There are 5 major things that can ruin your relationship. And we deal with these every single day. That's why I chose these 5, because it's every single day that these things are a threat to our relationship. Getting too comfortable, too reliant. It's a lot. Everything on this list have been conversations and people's relationships that could have been a breaking point for them. When all you got to do is be listening, paying attention, and understanding. Because if one person being accountable, they can't be accountable for both of y'all. This is a 100% situation. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in today. I wanted to have a quick show today, but regardless of it being quick, I wanted to make sure I touched on all my key points, and I wanted y'all to know what to avoid, because some of y'all dealing with this right now, and I know you are. We don't have to talk about it for people to know, but you need to go ahead and pipe down. Don't be threatening to leave. Stop acting like you in a position to where you want to go love somebody else. No, chill out. You know what you're trying to do. Stop trying to stir up the pot, and take some of these 5 things and the solutions from those 5 things and implement them and embed them in your day to day to avoid causing any issues in your relationship. Because no matter how green the grass may look on the other side, your relationship is the best relationship you ever had. Not theirs, not nobody else, is yours. All right? I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great evening. All right? Peace. Peace.